Hello everyone and welcome to Atoms Part 3 and the final part for Atoms series, in which we will be talking about the periodic table of elements, how elements are ordered, and we will look at the elements card, and we will end the video with a fun game. So let's start. Now let's restart the game again, and this time I want you to focus on the elements. So this is called the periodic table of elements. As you can see, that you have the letters of the elements and they are ordered. But how are they ordered? For that reason, let's keep our eyes here as we're changing between elements. So if you have one proton, you know that this is hydrogen. I'm just gonna keep it a positive ion, so I'm not gonna add any electrons to this atom, just to focus on this chart. So if you have one proton, it's a hydrogen atom. And you can see it's the first top one on the left corner, hydrogen. If I add another proton, it's gonna jump here. So 1, 2, and this is the first one is done. 1 proton, 2 protons. If I add one more, it's lithium here. One more, the next one to its right. Another one, boron. Another one, and then you can expect if I add another proton, it's gonna be this one, and then oxygen, and so on. So the periodic table of elements is ordered by the number of protons, so it's ordered by the atomic number. So hydrogen has 1 proton, 2, 3, 4, 5, carbon has 6, 7, oxygen has 8, and so on. So the periodic table is just ordered by the atomic number, which is unique to each one of these atoms, which is basically the number of protons, and that's why we call it the atomic number, because it's really important. Now let's jump to this card here to practice about the symbols. So if I have an element card, I want to see what are these numbers represent. So let's make a hydrogen atom. This is hydrogen. So first, you see the scale here. So the number on the top of hydrogen here is representing the number of protons and neutrons in the middle. So it's the mass number, the mass of this atom. You see, if I'm adding more neutrons, it's gonna be more. What about this number? This number, and you can see it's the same color as the proton. By the way, these are not actual colors. This is just like a way to represent the simulation. So the atomic number is 1 because it's 1 proton, so it's written down here. So the one on the top is the mass number, and the one in the bottom is the atomic number. What about this one? This is the charge. So if it's a neutral atom, you will see 0 here, but if you make it a negative ion, you will see -1. Or if it's still negative ion, but you have 2 more electrons than the protons, so it's -2, because this is cancelled with this one, and you have extra 2 electrons, so it's -2, -3, or 0, or +1, and so on. So here we put the mass number, here we write the atomic number, and finally here we place the charge. Now let's jump to the final part of this tutorial, which is the game. Let's practice everything we learned in this game. I will do a couple of questions of each one, and then you will complete the others by yourself. As always, you can visit the link in the description. So let's start. We have to find the element. 6 protons, 7 neutrons, and 6 electrons. So don't worry about the number of the neutrons and electrons, you only care about the number of the protons, which represent the atomic number. So 6, you're going to start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my element must be carbon. Now they're asking me, is it neutral atom or ion? So all you have to check is the number of the protons and the number of the electrons. Are they the same? 6, 6? Then it's a neutral atom. If one of them is bigger than the other one, it's going to be an ion. Next, find the element. Oh, how can I do this? don't look at anything except for the protons. How many protons it has? It has only one proton. That means its atomic number is 1. So it's a hydrogen atom. Is it a neutral atom or ion? So as you can see, you have one proton and you have 2 electrons. So that means it's an ion. Let's go to this one here. What is the total charge? I have 8 protons and 10 electrons. So what is the difference? Is 2. And since electrons have a negative charge, then it's going to be -2. So just find the difference between... Now let's do this. What is the mass number? The mass number is just the numbers of protons and neutrons in the nucleus, and since you only see 1, so the mass number is 1. What is the total charge? You have 1 proton and 1 electron, so +1 and -1 is 0. Let's go to the third one. So they want us to fix this number, and here, as you remember, is the mass number. This is hydrogen, atomic number is 1, 1 proton, -1 is the charge because it has 2 electrons and 1 proton. So what is the mass number? You have 1 neutron, 1 proton, so together they make 2, so the mass number is 2. Oh, they want us to decide the charge for this atom. We have 4 protons and 4 electrons, so the charge must be 0. And so on. And finally, we have to build our atom. This is hydrogen, so it has 1 proton only. Since the mass number is 2, so it should have 2 particles in the middle, so it has 1 neutron. And since it has a -1 charge, that means that's a neutral atom, and then we have an extra electron. So now they give us the atom, and we have to know how to make the symbol and the element card. So we have 2 protons, so I'm gonna place 2 in the atomic number. Since I have 1 neutron, so 1, 2, 3, the mass number is 3. And finally, I have 2 protons and 2 electrons, so the charge is 0. What about this one? So now you have chlorine. 35 is the mass number, 17 protons, because this is the atomic number, so I'm gonna make 17 here. And then what's the number of neutrons? All what you need to do is subtract the mass number from this, because you know protons and neutrons, both of them go in the middle and they make the mass number. So 35 minus 17 must be 18 neutrons. And since you see -1 charge, that means electrons are 1 more than the protons, so they must be 18 as well. So that's it for today. Go to the link of this game, explore all the settings here and here, and then play the game, share your findings until I meet you next time. Pandabood.